Back in November, when I ran for the seat, I was neither endorsed by either the pro-life advocates or the pro-choice advocates. Tonight, when we leave this room, this building, Roe versus Wade is still the law of the land. Tomorrow, a woman here in the state of Rhode Island can have an abortion under the current federal law and our state statutes. There's been a lot of debate that things are unraveling. They're not unraveling here in the state of Rhode Island. We are a body here to vote on laws and statutes here in Rhode Island. We've heard throughout our discussion that in other states, such as Georgia, Kansas, Mississippi, they've decided to take another path toward unraveling Roe versus Wade. I'd like to see the status continue, the status quo, which we have, because we have not had one challenge in the Supreme Court that would undermine our current law under Roe versus Wade for the last 47 years. And it would take at least a year. The decision under Roe versus Wade was introduced into the Supreme Court December of 1971, and it took till January 1973 for the Supreme Court to render a decision. So this General Assembly sits on 6 months, and we recess in June, and we're back here in January, which will probably be ample time if there was a case being introduced in the Supreme Court to restrict the right of a woman. And it's sad to say that it's very difficult to sustain the status quo that we have today here in the state of Rhode Island through legislation that's before this committee, but yet there hasn't been any legislation introduced in this body, the Senate, to restrict the right of a woman to have an abortion. So we have to be honest with ourselves, ladies and gentlemen, that I don't know why there is a rush, since nothing has occurred that would restrict abortion here in the state of Rhode Island, whether it's on the Supreme Court level or here in the state of Rhode Island. And I know many of us here would want to sustain the status quo. And that's why I'm very confident that we will continue tomorrow, as we have been the last 47 years, to allow a woman the right to an abortion. But what bothers me in closing is that we've had neutrality for the last 47 years on this issue. So I don't want to cross the red line of neutrality, and I just want to see here the status quo to continue. Thank you.